what I want to throw out and let's discuss a little bit is a lot of parents, I was scared to death, because he doesn't do well, with other kids. But you got 25 kids, and they all are on the spectrum. And from what I know, there's very few major, I'm sure there's issues here and there, but there's very few major meltdowns, issues, incidents. Talk to me about that. Like,
Sure.
Is there a structure for that? Is it, if parents want to try to find a way to get their kids involved? Because I think as a parent of someone, as any parent, you want your kid to have socialization skills. And I can bring him in the gym and I'll talk about the gym and Blaine, there's questions on that. I'll talk about that, but not everybody has that opportunity that I do, but they want to socialize their kids. So what should they look for from that regard, and what should they look for from whoever is administrating, hosting, or whatnot?
Sure. And so I'm going to back up. You mentioned Dr. Beversdorf
Yes.
a while ago. So his work at OSU was to create a program called Aspirations, and that would be something that would focus on those social skills, because the research at the time was showing that social skills has a direct correlation to what they're going to be able to contribute to once they're in the world, how they're going to be able to prosper at a job, if they're even going to get hired. So that was the cornerstone of Aspirations at OSU at the Neisinger Center. So it's kind of just like the spectrum. There is this big umbrella, and it's called Aspirations. So back to Beversdorf, though, he created, it was, a couple-week pilot study of if we have something, in a classroom where we're, pinpointing these social skills with professionals week by week, what is going to be the end result? Are these guys going to be able to have the skills that they need in order? So they're talking about resumes and just all of those things, all those life skills that surely they got in high school, but now it had more of a, could hit home because now they're the age where they have to do that. Like in high school, it's kind of like, oh, that's something that I'll have to do in the future, but doesn't hit home until you're actually in that stage, So he had great success with that. And so that is a program where, say you just went through, you're in high school, or you're in college, or you're out of school and you're not sure if you're going to go the college route, just get a vocation. The Aspirations program is to have that type of that social training, that form. It's formal. It's how do you approach somebody, and how do you look them in the eye? How do you shake their hands? What does it mean to respect? If you are looking to have friends, how are you going to go do that? So that's like that formal type of training. Then, so if you go through those 8 weeks, then you have other opportunities under this aspiration. So that's where I come into play, would be men's aspirations. And then there's women of aspirations, and there's a slew of other different programs, but they start you at that base that you're going to learn those social skills, and you're basically going to graduate so that you now have multiple opportunities because you already went through that. Does that make sense?
Yes. So they're kind of training them to be a little bit like Dexter.
They're assuming that there are some holes from what, and yeah.
So you know who Dexter is?
I mean, I've heard of it, but
it's a joke.
Dexter's Laboratory.
He's a sociopath serial killer that really.
I thought you were talking about Dexter's Lab. Different generations.
So that he has to fake all of his emotions to kind of get through life. But anyhow, it was a joke. So it was a crude joke, but it was a funny joke. All right, go ahead.
But so, yeah, it's like filling in those gaps and assuming that, this is a skill that wasn't transcended from school or from the family, and we're going to work on this until we show, some skills were derived, and that now we can go into the community, and now we can be with 15 or 25 guys, and, things are going to go smoothly. If I'm, not too excited about doing this particular activity, I'm going to have basically those coping skills to be able to be like, you know what, okay, I'm going to go through this, but then I'm going to be able to do this or whatnot. So a bunch of different programs that are below or above aspirations, and so now you have some different opportunities. So men's aspirations, it actually started, men of aspirations. And when I was asked to facilitate it, that was the first thing where I was like, men of aspirations. Like I want the guys to have this ownership of aspirations, like it's theirs, So that was like the first thing we're starting to change what this program, what's the point of it. So when, just a little bit of background, when I first started, and just sitting there and observing, okay, this is a program. I'm not going to come in and change it drastically, but what are they trying to accomplish? And here, now they're in public. We have, say they had like 10 to 15 or 20 guys. They're in a restaurant. Now they're getting skills of working with a waitress, and now I have a menu and I have to choose something of what I want to eat. I have to be able to articulate that. Now I have to have patience. I'm getting my food. All those like processes, which are absolutely crucial. Again, that's that social. If I can't conduct myself in the restaurant, how am I going to be able to conduct myself at the job place or anywhere else? So I saw definitely some validity of what they were doing. And then it was the next month, we're going to another restaurant. And then the next month, we're going to go watch a movie, and then we're going to go get a snack. And I was just like, based on my background, that was just blah. And okay, I got it. Like I got the whole how I'm supposed to behave in the restaurant, but what else? Social ability is so more than that. So that's where I was like, I want these kids to be able to move and to have, some type of recreational aspect, and we're doing things, and yeah, maybe we're going to get a snack, but that's just like a small portion of what we're going to accomplish. So it was redefining what this program was intended to do. So it was mixing activity, recreational, sport, in a sense, exploring Greater Columbus area, dining, music, all into one. And so how this works is, rather than me saying, okay, well, I'm interested in going to jump parks, and I love hiking, but it's not a program for me, it's for them. So when we were at that restaurant, one of the first few months, it was, hey guys, I'm Sheena, I want to know more about you. What do you guys like to do? And so I wrote down some things that I like to do just to kind of change their processes, because already they were like, one of the guys was thinking, well, I like pancakes, like I like just other food, because that's what they were used to doing. And so when I put down like, well, man, I like to jump, and then somebody was like, I like bowling. And so then we created like a table full of things that they were interested in. And so then as I'm planning this schedule monthly that we're going to meet, I'm choosing Michael's choice. He wanted to go ice skating. And so now I'm building a story, of when we sat down and we were thinking of our choices, Michael wants to go ice skating. So for this month, we're going to go ice skating, and here are all the things that we're going to look forward to. And then, so a program that was built on their interests. Each month we're doing something else. So maybe January we'll go ice skating, and then the next month, based off of like the environment and how the weather and where we're at and whatnot, we've already gone to festivals, hiking. We're going into caverns. The next month we're going, maybe we're going fishing. Then we're going into the city, short north here in Columbus, and we're going to make candles. And then we're going to go to this, big toy store. And then the next month, maybe we will go to a movie. We're just going to chill out. So we're doing a bunch of things. So how does this work, right? So we can think of like, if you think of your child, like Bryce, for example, they get all the parents together, they're going to go rollerblading, and then all the parents are kind of chilling at the snack shop, and then you're just like, well, this place is going to take care of itself, right? We're just going to go rollerblading. Well, that might be like the misconception of what we're doing here. So, so bringing these kids, they chose to be here, and now based off of that interest, naturally now the social function, the abilities, the skills, it happens naturally, but everything had to be organized. Everything had to be RSVP'd. All the background information has to be set. But now they're in an environment where say for example, we're going to go like laser craze or something like that with guns and whatnot. So now they're immediately engaged because they chose to be there. So, and this is going to debunk everything that we know about autism, right? So we have kids that so we think are not social. They don't care. They'd rather be on video games. They are not going to be engaging. They're not going to be helpful. There's going to be no empathy. So that's what we already kind of talked about. But based on their interests, based on what I have set up, they come there, they're engaged. Now they're going to listen to, the guy that runs the place because they need the rules before we get into our first mission of the day. And now you're going to see a group of, 20 guys. They're silent, they're engaged, they're listening, they're asking questions, they're raising their hand. And so now we need to gear up. Now we need guns, we need our artillery. And so now, we'll have Evan, and he'll be like, hey, he's asking now another guy, why'd you choose that gun? And the kid's like, well, I chose this gun because it can do this, this, and this. And, we're going into the kitchen for our first mission. So this is why I'm choosing this gun. So now I never had to say, okay, guys, let's be polite. If you have a question, or I don't have to be like that. It's just raw, and it's natural. So now the guys are going to each other to learn more, and now they're naturally becoming friends. So now we have the skills that we needed. We're engaged. We listen to the rules. We have our tools that we need, and now we're going to go have fun. Now we're creating an experience. It's raw. It's real. We're forming out. I'm trying to think of the word, but we have to work together. With this particular event, we have teams, and we have to come up with strategy and whatnot. So all that higher level type of thinking. And then at the end, now we're resting, we're sweaty, we're hot, we're getting drinks and whatnot. And now the guys naturally come up to each other. Man, that was awesome. Good job on that. What are you doing next week? Did you ever watch that movie? So that's the premise of everything that we're trying to accomplish through Men's Aspirations is putting them in a situation that they want to be a part of. And then based on that, because it's active and it's fun and it has us moving and it's something brand new, or maybe it's familiar to some guys and not others, it naturally works. And then we're hitting everything. Now we're being active, we're being healthy, we're drinking, we're eating, we're socially building these skills. Now we're having experiences. Now we're having memories. And one of the parents was saying too, my child went to this event. They never had been there. They had this fantastic experience. And now, say weeks later, they're asking, hey, can we go back there? Whereas before, that wouldn't have ever hit their radar, because that would have been, an experience that there was no memory to, or, maybe it was fearful, or there was just nothing there. They didn't even know maybe they were interested in that. So then it transcends then to now the family has more options, and they're doing something more. So that's the premise of Men's Aspirations. And so I can remember, training with Blaine for multiple years, and then Men's Aspirations getting more and more sophisticated. And then it was just the next logical step for Blaine. And I remember asking you, hey, is this something that you'd like, for Blaine to tag along? And I could just, I can still see your face where you're there was that fear of, holy crap, now he's going to be with a bunch of kids, somewhere far away from home. How's this gonna pan out? And it was, thankfully you trusted me at that point in time, but now he had a voice, he had choice. Blaine, what are you interested in? Well, I want to do, I'm trying to think of what one of his choices were not too long ago, but it was, hey, Blaine chose this, so already he has that competence, he's excited, and then he goes there and he's he's fine. He wants to be there. And now, just like with the prior example that I gave you, he's all into the guns and the mission and strategy. And so then he's an expert in that. And now he's helping other guys. So it just naturally now, guys are asking for his phone number, and Blaine's just reserved, and he'll say, I'm good, and that's not what he needs at this point in time, but that has already started where, guys are wanting to hang out with him. So that, and there's activities that we do that he's not interested. Yeah. So he's not gonna go that time, and that's fine. And then he'll pick up the next month.
Everybody's going to give all these different kind of answers, and I know what all the answers are going to be, and the fact of the matter is he's just my son and I love him.
You're invited to my party.
I know.
The party's on the 15th, even though my real birthday's on the 11th.
So what'd you do yesterday?
I got an